Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. The foliage outside is utterly delightful to look at, and it's feeling like an Indian summer autumn day, and we have an awesome show tonight, another great musical guest. But before we get to her, I got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence with an amazing show. She's very talented, and we'll find out all about her as well, as usual. So we got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming in Brockton, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell. We got Easton Fitness right here in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got T. Martini and Son Floor Covering in Abington. No job is too big or too small. We got Zachary's Breakfast and Lunch Restaurant in Stoughton. We got Smoke and Ashes Tobacco Stores in South Weymouth, Whitman, Hanson, Pembroke, and Abington. We got Sesh Wellness and Accessories in East Bridgewater. We got Lynch's Towing, Auto, Cycle, and Truck Center in Brockton. 2 phone numbers, one for towing, one for projects. We got my own brother, Evan Young, Realtors, Associates, and the email and phone number available. We got Brighton Tire Service in Brockton. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton. We got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. And I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, now I'll introduce this lovely young lady. This is Rebecca Harrold. And you wouldn't believe where she's from. She's from, hello, Cleveland, we just found out.
Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland rocks, it sure does. So she is a very talented, I heard her warming up, pretty lady, and I'm so honored that I was able to get her on as a guest today on Topic Time. So Rebecca, thanks for honoring me with your presence on my show.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Okay,
I'm
well,
honored.
like I do with every guest, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk to her a little bit, and then she's going to perform some of her original music, and we're going to talk a little more. Then she's going to perform a little more, then we're going to wrap the show up, and it's going to be great as always. So Rebecca, tell me about your history. You grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, correct?
Well, a little town outside of Cleveland, Ohio, called Mentor.
Okay.
But 45 minutes.
Did they name those little candy mints after it, the Mentos?
Mentor.
Oh, mentor, like
M-E-N-T-O-R.
That makes sense. You're a musical mentor, so here you are. That's perfect. Okay.
It comes in handy.
It does. Okay, so well, what was life like growing up in Mentor, Ohio? And were you musically inclined? And how did it get to? Let's break it down a little bit. Tell me about what you did as a child, and then as we work our way forward to how it got you where you're at now. If I have any questions, I'll while I'm in there, so go ahead.
Wow, okay. Well, that's quite a span of time. From the time I grew up on a small farm.
Okay.
Very small farm.
Rurality, as they say.
Rural, that's a hard one to say, rural Ohio.
Yep.
And, we had chickens, ducks, geese, some pigs, some sheep, some goats. So,
E-I-E-I-O.
E-I-E-I-O.
Got it.
Old McDonald, only
Right.
this way it was old Mom Murphy. That was my mom. She was a
Cool.
Murphy. And
Okay.
so, I started out playing the piano by ear, and my mother is a musician, or was a musician.
Yeah.
God rest her soul.
Right.
She was a musician, and so she recognized that I could pick out melodies and pick out tunes on the piano, and said, "You're gonna start taking lessons."
Wow. Now,
So-
how old were you at this time?
Well, I was 2.
Wow.
When I started, but I didn't start lessons.
No, I know, but
until-
the fact that she planned it when you were 2.
Well, thankfully, she had enough of a musical ear to realize that I wasn't just like banging on the piano. I'll notice that with my little students too. I'll notice with my younger students that they're actually making little tunes, and so when somebody has the ear for music and can realize that, I think that's really what helped.
True.
Because.
So she knew you were a talent immediately.
Well, she could tell that I could figure stuff out on the piano with my ear, because I wasn't reading it too.
Exactly.
Then fast forward a lot. I mean, I had a lot of musical training. Everybody in my family was required to do music and sports and do well in school.
Okay.
So I really just excelled at music.
They wanted you to find your strength and run with it.
That's right.
Yep,
Why not try to put a lot of energy into all 3 of those and see what'll come of it.
Exactly.
So I got my bachelor's in
Where?
Vocal performance at Baldwin Wallace University. It's Baldwin Wallace University.
Is that in Ohio?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just in Berea, Ohio.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a great little, I loved it. It was a little conservatory, Methodist college, and you know, I just felt like I got really excellent training,
Cool.
like conservatory training. And so, you know, I made it. I headed out to the big Broadway, the big white way.
You mean New York?
Mm-hmm.
Start spreading the news?
Lived in New York for a little while. My roommate.
Oh, hold up. When you were living why were you living in New York to perform in
yeah.
New York?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And where did you perform? Did you actually perform on Broadway?
No, not on Broadway.
Okay.
No,
It's pretty exciting though.
Actually segued to here in Boston because my former husband was going to school at Berkeley.
Okay,
So-
well, I always say everything happens for a reason. If it wasn't for that,
sure
you probably
does.
wouldn't be here with me tonight. So
It sure does.
yes.
And so I ended up in Beantown.
Yep.
And have stayed here pretty much ever since. I've jetted around a little bit here and there, and you know, lived in Colorado for a short bit. But
okay.
you know, I started writing music when I was 10.
Wow.
And have been carrying it around with me all this time because I never really recorded it. I just always played it.
Okay.
And so I got to record with Will Ackerman.
Wow.
Who founded Windham Hill.
Okay.
Years ago.
And where is Windham Hill?
It's since been sold to Sony. It's now under Sony Records.
Oh, so wow. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he sold it a while back.
Okay.
Like, so you know, it was just a great opportunity to finally produce and record all my music that had been in me,
Yeah.
and it was a fabulous experience. I had the best time up in Vermont.
Okay.
It's up in.
Nobody's going to bother you up there. Except the cows.
Dummerston, yeah, the cows. I felt right at home with the
course.
cows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dummerston, Vermont.
I know
which
the
is-
area. I know the
yeah,
town of Dummerston.
And that's where Windham, there's a Windham County, but that's where the studio is. It's a great big, you know.
Sounds like a commute, like a place to reside, independent of all the outside interference that we don't need. When we're
Yeah.
trying to perfect our skills. As such
Oh
as-
yeah.
Right, I get it.
Yeah, I called it the compound because he has a farm. He has
Okay.
a lot of
And plus, you were familiar with farm life anyway, because of your childhood.
in a farm and a humble studio, but beautiful recording.
But you never did anything at Berkeley College of Music. See, I thought you were.
I'm
at
there
Berkeley.
now.
You are. So you're
I
currently a
work
student or a
with-
teacher.
No, I'm staff pianist. I work with the dance department
Okay.
because my main day job is Boston Ballet. And
Well, okay.
because-
Are you a dancer too?
No, I play piano.
You play the piano for the.
I'm very
for
safe.
the Boston Ballet.
It would be a disaster if I was on the stage.
No. Well,
I mean, I enjoy dancing.
It doesn't
but,
matter if that may be so, but what you do is incredible.
Well, ballet is quite incredible.
It is.
And we discovered that ballet dancers have a fascination with musicians, just like musicians have a fascination with dancers.
That's because they go so well together.
In other words, I could never do what they do, and they feel the same about us. So there's like this.
But each one deploys the other one for their own benefit. So that makes perfect sense.
It is a beautiful collaboration.
Yeah.
It's I've never felt that with any other artist. You know.
Cool.
Musicians, because it's silent. And their body is their instrument, so it's
Yeah.
really soulful.
It is.
To me, it's very soulful, and I love it.
And so how often do you perform for them?
Well, I work with the school, the Department of Education, and it's daily. I play daily for their training.
Wow.
And then I could warm them up before performances. I'm not in the pit. I'm not a union musician.
I got
So
you.
I'm not in the pit. And they're really, I mean, honestly,
Are you gonna be
those
eventually-
musicians in that pit are unbelievable. Those pianists, there's two pianists that are like the pit musicians, and they're incredible.
Okay.
I've got skills, but they've got superpowers.
I understand. Well,
That's how I see it, you know?
Do you think you'll ever matriculate to the pit?
No.
And if not, that's fine.
No, because I have a different. I want to pursue my own music, and
Right.
and I've actually had a wonderful collaboration with a choreographer. So, I've done
Okay, well, guess what?
some music for a dance,
Cool.
which was awesome.
Okay, mention the choreographer, and then we're going to have you perform.
His name is Kevin Jenkins.
Okay.
And the ballet was called Chaplin. It was about Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
But I did not write a rag tune. you know.
I imagine there was some miming going on.
Oh, well, I'm sure there
He
was.
he was a mime type,
He
wasn't
was.
he? Yeah.
Silent film.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Well, guess what? We're going to hear you perform something. So without further ado, you're going to go up to your keyboard that I helped you carry in, and I was delighted to do it. But you set it up, and wait till you hear it, folks. If you haven't, you don't want to miss it. So without further ado, there she goes, and we'll be right back to talk to her a little further.
Okay.
I would do anything for you. I'd pull all the stars out of the moon, and I would give everything to you, yeah. And I would only be true to you. I walk the ocean shore, looking for that open door, as the waves of doubt get tossed into the sea. Clouds gather darkening, the world's waves keep wooing me, and all my fears collide with honesty. And I would do anything for you. I pulled all the stars out of the moon, and I would give everything to you, yeah. And I would only be true to I'm not sure how I feel. Is heaven made and rain still real? When I smell the sweet rain passing through this pain, wondering what's fly by, and never asking why. Am I satisfied? Just I would do anything for you. Pull all the stars out of the moon, and I would give everything to you, yeah. And I would only be true. I would be true, always be true to you.
Wow, that was amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thanks.
Man, your music is so passionate, and
Well,
and I'm sure my hunch is that there are people out there that would want to adopt it as their love song for their own deal. I'd say, just based on what I just heard.
yeah.
Is
It's,
it, do you ever get any reactions like that from people that you perform for?
well, yeah, absolutely. I get all kinds of reactions.
Well, I mean, what I do is when
Hence the chicken wire. No.
when I have a musical guest on, I try to. I mean, I love music, and I try to be as analytical as possible, but being objective as well when I listen to someone's music, and that's what yours sounded like.
Ah,
So tell me about
it is a love song.
in terms of I know you play for the Boston Ballet, and that's incredible. But how about in terms of what you've how much have you recorded so far, and where have you recorded?
The only place I've really recorded as a professional finished outcome was with the what's called Imaginary Road, the former owner of Windham Hill.
Okay.
And I'm finishing up my second CD, which has the song that I just performed.
Okay.
And it's called The Tree of Life.
Okay.
My first CD is The River of Life.
I got it. Okay.
So,
Well, it might as well be of life as long as we're alive, right?
Yeah, the tree, the river, and the next one's just going to be life. That's my trilogy. Yeah.
Tell me. Oh, that's great. That's and that's it. Are you gonna not continue to write after that?
No, it's going to be the rest of my life.
Right.
That's why I'm calling it life.
Tell me something. Were there any artists prior to you that have inspired you? Any?
Oh my goodness, yes.
If so, please name them.
Well,
I'm going with Billie Holiday, but
Chick Corea.
Oh, okay.
Well, as a singer, yeah, I mean, singers. Who did I get influenced? Billie Holiday, absolutely.
Okay.
That's very astute observation there.
Well, listen,
Harrison.
I grew up in a musical family too.
I listen to Billie, and I listen to another. I've listened to Billie Eilish. She's
Okay.
a new artist out
She's a
right
new
now.
one, yep.
Yeah.
She's done quite well.
Yeah, and I try to listen to all kinds of different musicians. Maria Callas.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, and Kiri Te Kanawa. She was a big one as a vocalist.
Okay.
These are people that I listen to, and Renee Fleming.
Okay.
That's border. You know, they bordered the opera and did jazz and pop, and Leontine Price.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, and Barbra Streisand.
Okay.
I mean, but I feel like I was more influenced by pianists, and you know, because I studied piano from the time I was 4 till. I'm still studying.
Still studying. Wow.
You can never stop studying music.
Right.
Honestly.
That's true.
It's like saying I'm just going to stop breathing for a minute. How is that working for you?
Only for a minute though.
For me, anyhow, because
Right.
music is a lifesaver. Music
It is.
was my lifeline.
It is.
You know, studying it, playing it, getting frustrated with it sometimes, and then just realizing that music. My college professor told me music is a mistress that cannot be denied.
That's true.
Cannot. I mean, no matter how hard you try to say, like, that's it. I'm not gonna do this anymore. It's just too much. No, it won't happen.
Right.
Ever. Not
Because you're
for me.
passionate about it.
Yeah. And it's life-giving.
And you talk about breathing. You breathe it in every day.
It's life-giving. And it can change your life. I feel like music can change the course of your life in so many ways.
Have you ever done any gospel playing in a church?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Talk about
Yep,
that.
I
Is that in
always-
Ohio? Going up?
Here. I play it every time I move, and any city I go to, I try to get a church job right away.
Cool.
Right away.
Nice.
So I feel anchored within the community, start, playing some great spiritually uplifting tunes and just getting connected that way. I just feel like that is the only way for me, really.
Right. I understand.
Really,
Yeah.
to feel that connection. I'm working at a church right now, the UCC right in Saugus, and when I walked into that sanctuary, it was amazing. I just felt that there was such a calming spirit and an ability for me to tap into the music much deeper. And I love gospel music because gospel means the good news. That's what the word gospel means.
Is it Latin?
I think so.
Okay.
Now you're going into territory that I may
If
or may
you
not.
don't know, that's
I
fine,
may
but
not
but
be
the
an
fact that
expert.
I knew that's a
But
fact
gospel,
I never knew.
yeah, gospel means the good news.
Good news.
So I feel like, even when on my lousiest days, if I just go to my church and sit and, yell, scream, cry, whatever my emotion is, I'm safe there because there's always good news. There's always good news.
Okay.
Even if I'm experiencing all kinds of, not so good news, just life. Life
Right.
happens. People get sick. People leave this earth.
Oh, I know.
People leave my life, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But when I go and I lay it all down, and at the church, and honestly, you can do that anywhere. But I feel like there's a power. There's a power at this church where I am, and I love the sanctuary because it's very giving. It's not just about I'm going to play all this music. it gives back to me.
One question before you play another song. Were you raised in a very religious household?
Not particularly, no. I
Okay.
mean, I mean, my dad died when I was a baby.
Oh.
I was 2.
Yeah.
And my mother promised him on his deathbed that she would raise us Catholic. So she religiously took us to church and went home. She didn't go to church. She dropped us off at church and went home and cooked us a big dinner or whatever, and we all would
Well,
come.
she took care of you, and she did what she had to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, my
so
goodness.
It sounds
my
like
mother,
your upbringing was sweet.
My mother was fabulous. I love my mother, and I didn't let her know enough how much I loved her while she was here.
Right,
So I'm going to say it now, Mom. You're the best.
Okay.
I don't know how she raised 7 kids. She raised 7 kids
Wow.
on her own.
Sounds like she did it very well.
I think her religion was more about, she really had a fascination with Native American Indians and Eastern religions. So
Cool.
she was somewhat of a Renaissance
Pagan.
woman. Well, actually, Catholicism is very paganistic. No, she was just very into.
Well, pagan's someone who worships more than one god, and not the one
Oh,
in
I
the
see
Christian
what you're
Bible.
saying. Yeah.
So it sounds like she
Yeah,
could have been.
maybe. And we're Irish.
Cool.
So she threw some of the best parties on the planet. Our house was always rocking. She's a pianist.
So let me ask you a
too.
question. Did you ever write a song about it?
Not yet.
Why don't you?
But that's going to be my life CD.
Okay, we'll tell you what. Why don't you play another song, and then we'll finish.
Okay.
All right. So
Sounds good.
Again, Rebecca Harrold, Boston ballet player, gospel player, an incredible talent. Go ahead. That was awesome. Great job.
Thank
wow.
you.
Never give up, huh?
Thank you. Never give up.
Okay.
I wrote that with a friend of mine who has been overcoming and battling cancer
Oh, wow.
for a while.
Wow, okay.
So she inspired me to put music to that idea. Never give up. You got to never give up.
That's true. You never should. You know, wow.
And
Well,
she's been doing a kick butt job
That's awesome.
of keeping cancer at bay.
That is so good. She's living the best life she can live.
Yep.
Well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. Believe it or not. So what I want you to do, great job with both songs. Give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, and then we'll wrap it up, just like we started it with my music.
Shouts out. Well, I know I'm
Say
Eric.
hello, Cleveland.
Hey, hey, Cleveland. Cleveland rocks. No,
Cleveland
and all my
rocks.
people back in Boston, Marblehead. I live in Marblehead.
Great town.
And I have a great, great community there. Jessica Cryer has been a wonderful principal of the Boston Ballet where I work, and she's just been a super, super inspiration for me. And her husband, Pavel, and my husband, Willie. I give props to everybody who has lifted me up and supported me in my musical endeavors. And Eric, Carla, I hope you're tuning in. And all my buddies on Facebook.
Of course.
There's lots of folks that were on Facebook. Facebook is like this,
You got a great,
little
look at all the likes you got when you plugged your appearance on my show. So I guarantee we're going to get a lot of views
entity,
for it.
right?
Yeah.
So, social media has been a way for us to stay connected during this time of outrageous
That's true.
disconnect. So I feel grateful for it.
I do too. Listen, well, I hope you had fun with me.
I did. I did.
Well, before we wrap the show up, what I want you to do,
I'm still having fun with you.
I'm having fun too. What I'm going to ask you to do though, like I ask all my guests, is if you know anybody, I get a lot of guests for word of mouth. If you know anybody that's interested in being on the show, maybe musicians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have them text me. You got my digits.
I will.
Okay.
I definitely will. I've got lots of people in my backpack.
That's
I
perfect.
won't say their names yet because
No, you don't have to say. I mean, but we'll let
They
them see
might
the
plead
show
the
and then see
fifth.
if they want to appear like you did.
They would.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, if we did a great job to impress them, then I'll do a great job with them as well to impress you and everyone else.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, great.
You've
great
impressed upon me.
Great job. Thank you. You impressed upon me too. Well, great job. Are you ready to wrap it up like we started it with the music? With my
Sure.
music? All
A
right,
samba. That's a samba, by the way.
folks. Oh, it's a Zumba?
That's samba.
Samba,
It's
my
a type.
song?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's the name of the type of song I've been having for 10 years. I only just found
Now
out
you
the name
know.
of it from
It's
this
a samba.
very
It's a Brazilian.
learned woman from music. All right, let's do the
In
samba and
music.
we'll finish it
Yeah.
up.
Can we?
Let's do it. Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Oops. Yeah, come on, this.
Cue the music. Dee, 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 dee.
Let's do it.
Now I put a G.
That's unusual. There we go. Sometimes it just goes to sleep, but I didn't.
I like this music. It makes you wanna dance.